Hello, hello. I made a bunch of changes, so now I'm like double and triple checking everything and make sure I've got this set up right. They're never usually major changes. It's never usually changes that I need to be worried about. But it was just a slight couple of layout changes that they made. So I had to just sort out life. It's weird because my camera, this camera right here, the big one, is like taking in a big chunk of space. And I think that's part of the new layout system. That's okay. It's okay. So how is everybody? All two of you. Oh, I'm rocking. This is a rocking place today. If you hear any, where is she? Nope, I'm not going to be able to get out of her way. Little Miss Snory Pants is over by the door. She has been snoring. She's always been a snorer. She's always been a dog that snores a lot. She is like in fine form the last couple of days. So anyway, what you doing? Looking for a spot? Oh wait, there she is. She's right there. We have a couple bags sitting there waiting to go back downstairs to the car. And there's Bruno over there in the corner. There they are. Don't let them fool you. They were just outside. Anyway, hello. I've got my iron set up behind me because I am making handles. I pulled this out. I got the fabric prepped like a month ago. It's been like a month. I got the fabric prepped and then all the tariff shit happened and all the other stuff happened. I've done other stuff, but I've done other smaller projects, tidied up a bunch of other little things, but I got to get back to this. So today is boring, guys. Today I'm making straps. I'm making handles. So I gotta ignore everybody and get over here and iron for a couple minutes, which is fine. Wander on in, get comfortable, say hi. I'll be with y'all in a minute. All I'm doing here to make this a little easier, this is not as bright. This looks almost orange. It's more of a dark red. I don't know if, there we go. No, it's still showing bright. So basically, I'm going to iron this in half, and then that will help. Usually I just sit here and finger press it, but I'm going to iron it because it's quicker, and then it'll make everything more stable as I do it. But anyway, that's all I'm doing today. So how is everybody? Okay. There we go. Yeah, sorry. I'm just, I'm going to test something. There we go. Okay. That was just a test. I wanted to see how it popped up. Like I said, there was some behind the scenes, nothing that matters, nothing serious or earth shattering, just a few changes. And whenever they change anything, you just want to double check. So I just want to make sure that I was going to be able to see that the same way I'm used to. Anyway, I'm going to be over here for a bit. Chronicles are boring today, but it's apparently most of you guys are dealing with some weather, and I'm dealing with it being hotter than average today. So I want to get this. I want to do a bunch for quickly and then get the iron turned off. Putting this in half. This was easy. Folding this stuff. Taking a piece of fabric, folding it in half and ironing it. That's ironing it. That's the easy part. It gets tedious when you have to then come back and take that, fold it, take that, fold it, take that, fold it. And I just don't bother ironing at that stage. Okay, I'm not bothering ironing at that stage because I'm just making tote bags. I'm making those simple little tote bags today. I'm getting back on track with that shit. All the tariff stuff has been sorted out, so life is getting better. It's a quiet Wednesday though. It's a good day for me to get. This is the good get my ass back to work day. Like I said, I've been working. It's not a lot. Well, we figure out what's going on with those tariffs. They're done. They're done though. Hey, Marion, I'm good. How are you? I just decided I cut these at the beginning of the month. Had my tariff tantrum, and now it's time to get back to work. Oh, and my tattoo is healing nicely. Now it looks way better. How are you doing? Apparently the rest of this whole region is dealing with some weather stuff. We've got the opposite going here. It's not super hot here. It's just a really abrupt change. So it feels really hot in here today. So I'm being rude with my back to everybody. I should have done this earlier, but I just didn't think of it. But I got to get this, any ironing I want done quickly. Okay, I've already got one done. I got 4. I'll do 5, 6. 6. There should be 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There it is. Hey, Mary. Gives me just 2 left. Yeah, I'll do the last 2. I'll turn the iron on later and do the last 2. Ah, there we go. Is there something weird happening with the chat? Oh, I put the I don't know if there's anything weird happening with the chat, but there was some background changes on StreamYard. So I just put up a test message to make sure it was showing up properly. Just so that I put up a couple messages when I first logged in just to make sure that it was showing up properly because there was a whole bunch. Oh, here's some new features. That's the punchline. Here's some new features. And it's like, I discovered those new features just as I'm ready to go. Oh, I can go live now. And it's like, damn, now I got to double check and make sure they're working the way, and make sure everything else still works normally. There's my little sewing light that can get out of the way. I use that in the evening when I've got less natural light. Anyway, well, as far as I know, everything's working normally. So, and my back was, when I'm turned around doing ironing, I wanted to get this. I'm doing the cords, the handles for my tote bags. So I wanted to make sure that I wanted to iron them, get them ironed in half to get them started, but I want to get the iron off as soon as possible. Tattoo is doing great. It's still got a tiny bit of it's hard to describe. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. Yeah, see that little haze over top? That's like the very last layer of it's kind of like it peels and it peels and it peels and it peels and it flakes and it does, and that's normal. And I'm still at the very last little bit of that. It takes about a month for all that stuff to go away. So I'm at about the last little bit of it. So we're good. What did I do last time? God, it's been a while. 5. No, it's number 7. Is it 7? No, it's 6. If you have electronic shit on your machine, if you have a machine with electronic shit on it, always double check. Because every now and again, they have some really cool shit. Oh, that's too close to the edge. Every now and again, they have some really cool shit that's really helpful. Because I could be eyeballing it and lining up the needle where I want it, but there's a button that just moves the needle for me. So it's like, oh, okay. There we go. Yeah, so Tattoo loves me. It's doing really, really well. And unless you get in really close, like if I go put some moisturizer on it, you won't see that last little bit of flaking. But I want the flaking off, so I'm just kind of trying to leave it. It's not itchy or anything like that. So that part's fine. I gave myself a rash though. 100% my own damn fault. Gave myself a you can barely see it. Little tiny bit of a rash right here because you're in there washing this. When you first get a tattoo, you got to wash it really carefully. Not carefully, but you really want to, whatever else you're doing to clean up, you want to give it a couple of extra washes a day, right? I'm in the sink washing, and obviously as I'm rinsing, I get a bit of soap because you rinse this way, and then the soap goes that way, and I let it soak in. This was about 4 hours. It was about a 4-hour tattoo. Now, he was really good and pretty zippy, so I'm not sure if it would have been slower with somebody else, but not about 4 hours. And they have a numbing cream that they use, so he just used that, and it's like, okay. I mean, you still feel it, but it didn't feel the same. It doesn't feel the same. So I already ironed it. I already ironed this down the side, so it's folded in half. And now all I've got to do is just fold each side in until it's at the middle. Fold it again. Double check everything up here, because fabric just loves to go where you put it. It really does. It likes to. Once you get the hang of it, right? Anyway, I am just chatting and hanging out today, not trying too hard at anything. Getting these bags caught up, so it's all about, like I said. Yeah, no, I'm on my last layer. Like I said, if I don't want to, and I use like a oil-based moisturizer when it comes to my tattoo, and I really don't want to use it while I'm sewing because I don't want to get anything oily on the fabric. Once you get oil on fabric, it's a bitch to get it out. So, but it's not bothering me at all anymore. So anyway, what's new and exciting with you guys? Entertain me, keep me amused. This is like the boring part of doing this. Oh, I got news. Hey, Debbie's Witchy Blog. Debbie for short. I got news. The decks were just released from customs for Sassy Dragon. So that's a thing. Yeah, welcome. Welcome to the crew. The decks were just released from customs. We're incredibly hopeful. we don't want to make statements because things can always happen, but we're hoping that the decks get delivered to the fulfillment center this week. Oh, just moved. Yeah. No, I'm mildly, that's why I got the rash here. I'm very, very mildly allergic to soaps. Not in any way that matters. I don't have to like use a special soap or anything like that, but I have to rinse it all off. I have to be really careful about rinsing. So I wasn't careful about rinsing and and obviously had some soap residue. That's the only thing I can think of that I did. But yeah, so I just use like an oil based, what did Lisa, she actually made a homemade one that we had. That's what I've been using for my tattoo. It's nettle oil, or I don't know. Lisa could tell you about it. She made it, but yeah. So I do that. I just put that on as a direct moisturizer and do that, but not when I'm sewing. Not when I'm sewing. I was thinking one of those oils on there. Yeah, so okay, so what we're looking at right now, back to that. You know what? I don't even have a lot going on today, and I'm still confusing myself and all over the map. Okay, so it was just released from customs like yesterday, day before yesterday. The deck was just okay. Oh, here's the okay. Let me start from the beginning. So the classic edition was delivered to the fulfillment center about 3 weeks ago. But the not safe for work edition was not sent. They were sent at the same time, but it's like, okay, you're filling up your bag, right? Well, the classic they sent them out the door on the same day, but not at the same time of day. So they went into 2 different shipments, which is fine. It's absolutely fine. But the first one, the classic edition made it through the border just before all that tariff shit started. But the not safe for work edition got held up at the border. No tariffs. We didn't have to pay a cent. And that part's fine. But because nobody was quite sure how this was going to play out, it sounds like a lot of China origin, because the decks were printed in China, so they had to be shipped into the U.S. from China. A lot of stuff was like held back, which means that even stuff that shouldn't have been held back just kind of got caught up in the backlog. That's our assumption. Anyway, so they just released it from customs with no pending charges, so there's no further fees on our end for that. So we're fine there. And so it's on its way to the fulfillment center. Fulfillment center has to formally receive the packages when they get it. They receive everything in order. So what we're hoping the timeline is. The timeline we are confident is that the decks will start sending by the end of the month. Our hopeful deadline, and the last time I said this, I was off by about a week. So don't quote me on this. But it's been released. It's on the way to the fulfillment center. Once it gets to the fulfillment center, that gets processed in order. So that could take 4 or 5 days. And then once that's been done, it's just a matter of a couple of days, boom, 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 they get them all out. So we are hopeful that by next Friday, that the decks will start hitting the mail. Now that's for U.S. and so that means that with luck, U.S. people will start getting the decks not next week, the week after. Anybody else, that's going to be. It shouldn't be a big problem, but depending on where you are in the world, depending on where you are in the world, your normal time frames then apply. But yeah, that's what we're hoping for. It's kind of stressful knowing that they're sitting in a warehouse somewhere, not being moved. But everything will be fine. And the decks, of course, are going to get inspected, so there's no issues there. Everything gets inspected. So yeah, so once that all shows up, and you guys are aware that the digital stuff is now available as well, right? There was a digital goodies packet. Not a guidebook, just some. There it is. Why does that seem wider? No, they're the same width. I don't know why. Oh, nice. A week to the UK. Actually, yeah, I guess that makes sense because when stuff is shipping from the States, it kind of tends to go fast. I'm hoping that people are going to start seeing their decks. So what's today? Today is the 5th. Let's check a calendar. Come on, you can do it. So if they get to the fulfillment center by Friday, by tomorrow or Friday, which is possible, then they need 3 or 4 days to process. That makes it like the 12th or the 13th. And once everything's processed, these guys they just slam it out. So I'm hoping that things are going to be in the mail. I'm hoping that things are going to be in the mail by the 17th. But just like last time, I saw the email for, yes, working on unpack. Okay, well, don't forget the goodies package is, it's a PDF. It's not a guidebook. It's fun. It's for funsies. It's some fun stuff. So no rush. It's gonna live on Lisa's Supportive Tarot website. I think it's gonna live there forever. It's living there forever, and we reserve the right from time to time to update it, improve it, whatever. So for now, I think it's got a password on it, which is fine. And don't forget, if you need the password, if you need the location of the file, the password, if you need anything, then just hit me up. Just hit up me or Lisa. We'll make sure you get it. Don't worry about losing track of that. That part's fine. And it's password protected for now because, it's password. I'm distracted today. I'm trying to get back in the swing of sewing. My God, I have been so lazy about saying, hey, Gail, I am just catching up making the ties for those bags, for the grocery bags that I've been making, because I had my tarot tantrum and just really haven't been sewing. I got to get caught up on this shit. Okay, where was I? I am just having a day. I'm having a derpy day. Okay, so for now, the Sassy Dragon stuff is the Sassy Dragon file on the website is password protected. But the reality is that it's not some the tarot police. Oh, the Sassy Dragons. The PDF file, the fun stuff file, has been released, and for now it's password protected, just so that the backers have more exclusive access to it. And we're probably just going to take the password off and make it public in a few months, few weeks, few months. We don't know, because we really we are not trying to be the tarot police and say, if you didn't buy the deck, you don't get this stuff. We're just trying to say, well, if you bought the deck, we'd like you to have priority access. And then once everybody's had a fair shot at it, we'll make it public. I got the forward for my guidebook this week, and now we are almost ready to send it all to the printer. So that's what I've been up to. Oh, fun. Okay, everybody. This is Harass Marion Day. Harassing Marion Day because her deck is almost ready to go. Now, are you going to be have you made any decisions about when, where, and how you're offering extra decks once all your backers have had a chance to get decks? That's my first question. Lisa and I talked long and hard about it. Yeah, it's just, hi, Cece. Yeah, like I said, there's honestly, if you guys know, if anybody's hanging out in this group and go, well, I wasn't able to back the deck, but I would love that PDF, I'm happy to share it right this second. So we are not trying to be exclusionary. We're just trying to make sure that backers are first in line for a crack for a crack at it. We don't know. We don't really have any agenda on when, where, and how it's going to be made public. It's going to go public sooner or later, though. But yeah. Marion's deck is on the way to the printer. Now, you're in the UK. You're in Scotland. Scotland, yeah, in Scotland. I have a Scottish neighbor. Lovely, lovely man. And I am generally really good with accents, but I have a very hard time understanding him sometimes. And I feel so bad. He's got the Scottish accents with a lot of the... I don't even know how to describe it without sounding offensive, but he's got the very thick, like it's almost like he's rolling every R and that every word has to have, I don't know, it's hard to describe it. He's such a great, and his wife is nice. His wife is Canadian, so she's easy to understand, and he's not so easy to understand. He is an older person, though, so I'm kind of wondering, sometimes with age, not your accent, but the way you talk changes as you get older sometimes. I know he has health problems, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I love Scottish accents, but I love Scottish accent. I know there are some forms of the Scottish accent that are really thick, heavy accents, and that he definitely has that. But yeah, he's a great guy. I wish I could understand him better, though. I'm so sad. I feel so bad. And it's funny, I'm usually really good with accents. Yeah, we are making a website. I've somehow found myself starting. Hey, welcome to my fucking world. This was supposed to be a hobby to make enough money to go to dinner once a month. Like, so what, $100 a month? And we can go someplace nice if I make $100 a month. It's fucking crazy. Oh, yeah, Cece bought one. What? Oh. My bobbin ran out. Cece bought the very first bag, and you know what I did? I was an idiot. I was a complete and total idiot. Because I listed a bunch of bags. My bobbin ran out. I got to change it. I listed a bunch of bags. Life was good. Blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what it turns out I did because I'm fucking stupid? I took and threw away all my old bags because I'm going to make new bags. I never made the fucking bags. So then we had to go to the store the one day for, you do the big major stock up trip. It's like, oh, we got to go to the store. Oh, get the bags. Fuck. Fuck, we got no bag. That first dinner out was amazing. That first dinner out was awesome. You know what was super awesome was buying my fucking car. It's like, it has been a crazy, crazy ride. And this community has been so insanely supportive of such a simple thing. It's been amazing. I've loved every minute of it. But yeah, so we're getting our shit together. Oh man, we gotta go do shopping. We gotta get this and this and this. We better bring all the bags. I gave them all to John. It's like, right. I never sat down. Anyway, I had to take all the bags that I had left. I had to take all the bags I had left in listings and delist everything. So I had bags for my own shopping. I'm pretty sure I'm putting bags back in the shop. We had a dilemma, not a dilemma, but we had to think about it because if those tariffs had gone through, if the tariffs had gone through with a 25% surcharge on everything, there's no way I would have been able to make these bags at the price I want to make them. So anyway, so I got stuck. Oh, thanks, Marianne. So I got stuck. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Marion's got one of these bags. Yeah, what I was supposed to do was make another batch. Never did. Got distracted with my tariff tantrum. Never made the bags. But yeah, so I'm making bags now. I'm trying to get everything. I'm trying to get caught up. I'm also trying not to worry too much. But anyway. Yeah, it's kind of funny though, back to accents, because we have people there are over 270 world nations represented in Vancouver, just in this area alone. So we're pretty used to accents, and everybody's it's this weird culture here. It's kind of crazy in the best possible way. It's kind of crazy. I've had conversations with people where we've actually whipped out notebooks to write things back and forth to each other because, oh, I'm sorry, your accent. Oh, okay. Doodle. Because when you get used to an accent, you quickly find out that getting used to a range of accents is not nearly the same as being able to, yeah. So we get it's kind of, like I said, it's funny in the best possible way because we're so used to that here. We're so used to like, you know, like you're talking to your Korean neighbor. I can't understand her accent, and she can't understand mine either. I mean, so it gets hilarious. Like I said, it's. Okay, do. I got all the little ones done. My mom and dad were supposed to move to Canada when I was just a baby, but my mom chickened out. That's too bad. You would have made a fun neighbor. Okay, what's going on here? There we go. Yeah, so all I'm doing here, I'm not really trying too hard because I'm just doing this. All I'm doing here is I've already ironed it in half, right? So I just get that there, give it a little finger press for the end, get that there, give it a little finger press for the end. People, and I used to be one of them, I used to struggle trying to make straps and stuff. Now, there's several different ways to do it. Now, if I were doing this, okay, like I've got a couple bags that I do that are pricey. So basically, you just make sure your first little bit is where you want it. Get your first few stitches in. Oh, and I'm going to be cutting off. Most of this piece here. Apparently a wise dragon. There you go. Yeah, we found that somewhere else and tweaked it. We've also made the decision that I don't think we're going to take anything out of it, but we reserve the right to add to it over time. But and like I said, we don't actually care if you print it, share it, do whatever you want with it. We don't actually care. We're just like, we're just gonna, password protect it so that backers get first dibs. But I'm already arguing. Let's just make it for everybody already. Let's just not do that. There. So now all I've got to do is just fold it to the middle, let the fabric work for me because it likes to lay down where it wants to. But like, let's be totally honest. If I was selling these bags for like $50 a pop, I would be ironing it properly. I don't mind. Okay, the quality will be the same, but I mean, the quality of the work will be the same, but I don't mind if something is a little bit off center or whatever. I don't want to say cheaper is better. Because it's going to be the same quality. It's going to be the same quality. It's going to last forever. But if it's not quite as perfect, I'm okay with that because I'm trying to keep it inexpensive, and sucking up an entire day over 2 or 3 bags just makes it not viable. Not in any quantity anyway. If I want to do quantity and keep my prices down, I need a couple of shortcuts. So that's just the way it goes. Hey Moira, how you doing? Yeah, I haven't been on in a couple weeks. I was enjoying my tarot tantrum to the fullest, by the way. Lisa got me Diablo 4, a video game. I've already maxed out my character, maxed out my stats. I've maxed out everything. There's 2 levels called torment levels. And I am torment levels are what you do once you finish all of the main questing on a video game. You get side quests and side goals and side this and side that, and that's what this is. So I'm moving up in torment levels, but I'm not trying too hard. But yeah, just binge it. Yeah. We got it. We got it. Oh, just about 6 weeks ago, I guess. We got it right when the tariffs were first announced. And that was just a coincidence. Oh no, wait, when did Lisa, when she got... Oh, yep, I was gaming. It's just like... Oh, and I fucked up my neck. My dogs just fucking hate me. My dogs hate me. I was bending over doing something with one dog. Oh, Bruno. Bruno picked up Bruno had something going on where he was like super hardcore sneezing. He's just finally he's just getting better now. He had the sneezes. He bent over the one day. He's sneezing so hard, I think he's going to fall down. I bend over to check on him. I've got the leash, both leashes on this arm, right? I bend over to check on him while Shayla's going, come on, let's go. He yanks my arm, throws my neck out just the tiniest bit. Threw it out. I don't know what the fuck. I think it was a pulled muscle. Could barely move my head. It's like, Jesus Christ, dogs. Such is the joy of pet ownership. Anyway. Yeah, so like, I mean, if you were to go over these, Cece's got Cece and Marion, if you were to go over these bags with a fine-tooth comb, you could go, oh, that stitch is a little whatever, right? You're not gonna find anything that's gonna go, oh, this bag. You're never gonna find anything that's gonna make you think, wow, this bag's gonna fall apart. But you're gonna go, oh, she did these zippy, get them done. Got my Druid to Torment 4. Didn't think I'd get there with the Druid. I tried out all the classes, also Rogue and Barbarian. Spiritborn is my least favorite. Oh my God. Okay, we're going to talk video games now, guys. I have got a Necromancer, and the Necromancer has a skill called Bone Storm, where he just has this whirling thing, for those of you who don't know, has this whirling thing going around himself, right? And he has minions. The only skills that I have powered up are my minions and my Bone Storm. My Bone Storm now is pretty much permanent. It resets. A lot of times when you have a skill in a video game, I'm making assumptions that nobody knows how video games work. But anyway, when you trigger a both, you can have both. I've got skeletons and mages and golems and I've got what you only get one golem. You get five skeletons. So I've got these. So I'm just like do. I am literally just walking around minding my own business, and this guy's all my minions are doing all the work. So I have got my mages and skeletons. I've got oh no, it gets better. Oh my fucking God, it gets better. Okay, when somebody talks about a game being face rolling, it just means that you don't even have to try. Oh, Mary, as if I do that, I was honestly chuffed to get such a... Well, I'm so glad that you liked it. I am so glad that you liked it. Like I said, I'm not making... Okay. I am definitely making some shortcuts on these bags, but I will not make a shortcut that impacts quality because I just can't do it. So anyway, okay, so I've got, oh, no. We're minions. Let's talk minions. Okay. So I've got, has anybody else heard of the game Diablo? Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should see how to live stream it and then live stream that. Mind you, I guess my computer gets really hot. Okay, so I've got all my minions, right? Then I've got a bonus on one of my I've got an aspect bonus that lets me have 2 more of each of those. So now instead of having 5 and 3, I've got 7 skeleton warriors. I've got 5 mages. I've got my golem. This is the season of as the season of the witch. I've got fire bats. Okay, there's a bonus stuff, right? I've got fire bats, frog, and I've got the orb. So that's other things that will just go kill stuff for me, and I don't even have to try, right? And then there's a rune that lets you have. There's a rune that you can get, and I forget what I forget the actual name of the rune is. That lets you have for every summon that you have, every summon that you have, you can have a spirit wolf also acting as a minion for 6 seconds. Only because I've got so many minions, I have 6 spirit wolves beside me. I just trigger an attack. Boom, 6. So basically, I've got 7 skeletons, 5 mages, 1 golem, 1 frog, 2 fire bats. What's the other one? One doom orb. Sorry, I lost count. Okay. Skeletons, mages, golem, firebat, frog, doom orb, and wolves. I got 7 different types of minions that just run around. The only thing that I have to do, I'm not sure if I want to do it. We just started the game recently, and the season's ending in like 6 weeks. And I've been faffling the game. The game itself is okay. Diablo is super easy to play. It is super easy to succeed at it. I run into a crowd. Oh, and then my Bone Storm, which is my ultimate skill. I have all the bonuses possible to add to Bone Skill. So basically, to Bone Storm. So basically, it just triggers. I trigger it, and before it can. When you trigger a special ability, it's like, oh, you can do this once every minute or whatever. I think this is like every 45 seconds, right? So it's like, oh, you can trigger this once every 45 seconds, except now it's like, oh, you can trigger it once every 45 seconds, but your cooldown, it'll cool. I've got it so that it lasts for like 25 seconds or something like that. It's like, oh, your Bone Storm lasts for 20 seconds, but, you know, with all of your cooldown buffs, it cools down and resets in 10. It's like fucking crazy. I tried the Piranado. Oh, Mary, you're getting. I gotta time one of these better so that people can like corner you about your deck, because Marion's deck is just getting ready to go after the printer now. But anyway, you have a good night. Take care. The Piranado, it wasn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be. It's just a little. I actually the one I liked the most was the roses. I like the roses the most but now I don't need it. What I've got to figure out now. I'm doing the Faffo thing. Marion, don't go. What's Marion's deck called? Don't ask me. I am such a horrible human being that I forget that shit all the time. Anyway. Yeah, it seems like tarot and gaming is turning into a thing. Tarot and gaming seems to be turning into a thing. Yeah, so I'm definitely ready to move up to Torment 3, which I haven't really been killing myself to do. Because now I don't know what I want to switch up. It's like I'm gonna lose so much armor. What printer do I recommend for the decks? I believe it's Global Paper, but for anybody who is serious about decks, the best person to ask is Lisa. because I am not going to get it right. She is the logistical genius behind everything that happens in this house. Yeah, I think send a message to Lisa. She'd be happy to share the information. Because the unfortunate problem is that when you're working with these guys, basically your experience with a print, first you have to identify a good printer, and then your experience with the printer has a lot to do with who you're working with. Because that was why we changed printers, because we were working with a good company, but the guy that Lisa was working with there was just an idiot who didn't know how to do his job. Yeah, I made multiple characters to FAFO as well. Fuck around and find out is FAFO, by the way, for those who may have forgotten. I don't think any of you guys have forgotten if you've been watching these videos. Basically, I've been FAFOing, but like I said, we just started playing. We got the game. Lisa came back from. Oh, see you later. Stuff to do. Always got stuff to do. I got stuff to catch up on. Apparently we're catching up on video game stuff. The issue that I'm having right this second, and it's not really an issue. It's not an issue at all. I'm enjoying the FAFO, so I'm not trying too hard to figure stuff out. But Lisa came back from Miami, and we got the game. I think it was the next day, or maybe the day after. So we haven't had it for long. And the game is based on seasons, and every time a season ends, you pretty much have to start over. So it's like, well, the season's ending in like 6 weeks. What do I want to put my time and energy into? Where do I want to take the next bit of stuff, right? But I have not binged a video game in a long time. So this has been a really nice break. The fun thing I like about Diablo is that your level. I saw you were live and stopped playing. It's March of the Goblins. Hunt those goblins. I was playing this morning, going after goblins. I'm already like halfway finished the reputation tree for them. I mean, I had to, because Lisa had her game with Dawn last night, so I just went and binged goblins. I just went and binged the March of the Goblins, so that's been fun. But I don't know that I want to start. I don't know whether I want to do other characters yet until the next season starts, because you don't want to do something and end up getting disappointed, because then you just don't want to play anymore. The thing I really like, if you like video games, if you like video games, Diablo is a lot of fun, because you don't have to play. There is a like the seasons content. If you want to maximize the season content for yourself, you do have to pay. But it's not like those other games where you're paying $100 for the game and then a monthly charge no matter what you're doing. I mean, I played WoW for years, but it got really frustrating that I would take a 6-month break for whatever reason, or, oh my God, I haven't played in 6 months, and it still cost me $20 a month. No problem, Nat. We are apparently talking about video games today. I'm not up to much. I don't think anybody. We're all having a quiet day. I am just one more to go, and I can start putting bags together. I had a tariff tantrum. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it a tariff tantrum forever. With the tariff stuff that was going on, we didn't know what was coming next where that was concerned. By the way, the only reason why I'm turning it around and going back the other way is for aesthetics, for looks. You don't have, if you're doing this for yourself and want to save the thread, you don't actually have to. It just makes it feel a little nicer. But I haven't done a lot of sewing. I haven't done much sewing this month. just because I wanted to enjoy life and not stress about those tariffs. I run an Etsy group. I run an Etsy group for Canadian Etsy sellers, and the amount of panic and freaking out, it's like, I don't want nothing to do with that. I do not want to be in that position. I don't want anything to do with, I don't want to freak out. I don't want to freak out. I don't want to whatever. So I am just going to, I'm in a very fortunate position, because I'm not trying to pay the rent. Why is that wider? So I decided to just relax, play a video game, spend some time. I did come live. Yeah, you know what? I haven't really binged on a video game in a long time. So it was a really nice break. It was a really, really nice break. And the tariffs, the de minimis is still in place, so whatever's going on a governmental level is not going to affect me on a day-to-day level. So we're good. I'm good. But it's kind of interesting though, because then okay, but you want to hear fuck being a Canadian. So they finally get that sorted out, right? The day after that, I come to find out that there was a weekend meeting between Canada Post and the union. And I don't know if you guys remember that there was a postal strike up here, right? Oh, we've made no meaningful progress. So, if we can't make any progress by May, I think it is, we're going to go back on strike again. So they're already talking like that. And they had to be ordered back to work by the government because the union wasn't willing to go back. And the union is now looking at that going, well, did you guys really have the legal right to order us back to work? And so now they're fighting it to say that the next time that there's a strike, they're threatening. I don't know if they're in court or whatever. They're going, yeah, we're going to fight this because, when we went on strike, you guys actually didn't have the legal right to order us back to work. So we're going to make sure you can't do that this time around. So it's like, lovely. So if you get your way with that, what am I doing? Oh, that's what I'm doing. So anyway, it's like, I don't fucking care anymore. So everybody's playing fucking games hoping to win prizes. So anyway, yeah, it's like, for fuck's sake. And I'll tell you right now, like the postal union up here, the workers union has lost so much support. It's like you guys ruined Christmas for a very large number of families. And yet you're arguing that you had the legal right to keep ruining everything for everybody. It's like, fuck. But the good news is that we do have options. I don't know how it's going to go. Things are weird. Because they want more pay and they want job security. And they don't want Canada Post hiring part-time workers. It's like, because part-time workers might eventually be, I don't know what the deal on that is. They also are, I don't know what the fuck. Honestly, I don't know what the fuck, because as a Canadian issue up here, and with the strike the way it was going, basically Canada Post is bankrupt. They're bankrupt and seeking bailouts from the government. The postal services up here are not I think the people playing politics are so detached from reality they don't understand that there are real life consequences to their decisions. And this is the thing, and I think that argument is, I think we're all in the process. Because don't forget, I'm in Canada, so things are a lot different politically up here. But I think everybody is in the process of finding out that it doesn't matter who you support; they're all just playing fucking politics. And that's really unfortunate. But no, our post office has tried to play politics for years now. Our post office has always tried to play politics. It's like, oh, well, we're a vital service. We're a vital service. You have to give us what we want. That's always been the attitude. And then whenever they get called out, like, okay, that's fine, but Canada Post as a corporation, because it's not a government-owned business. It's a private corp. I forget how the deal works on that. But it's like they're going, well, that's great, but they're bankrupt. Canada Post has been bankrupt. They've lost billions. If they were a regular courier company, blah 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 blah, they would have gone under like a decade ago. So, it'd be interesting to see. Yeah, see, unions at one time were wonderful, and now I feel like employees use them to do less. And I'm in a union, and a union. This is the thing. This is the thing. Unions had a purpose, but now that their purpose has been served, they're not. Because if you have a really strong union, that's great. If you have a weak union, you're fucked. And only a few unions have any actual power. The rest are all pretty weak. But and depending on the union, who's the union going to protect? I got a story back from like the late 70s. The North American Free Trade Agreement had just been signed. Okay. A bunch of my friends think one of the reasons they dislike allowing part-time workers because corporations have a habit of eliminating one full-time for two part-time, not paid benefits and such. See, this is the interesting thing, because you would think that's the case, but under at Canada Post, the part-timers are covered as well. They negotiated that. Part-time workers get the same everything. So from the corporation's perspective, it often costs them more to have a part-time worker. But I think my issue is that the people that are doing the negotiation don't actually work for the post office. They work for the union. And if the union makes a deal that cuts into worker wages or worker whatever, then that cuts into the union's ability to pay themselves. And I think that let's back up. Any organization, if it gets big enough, whether it's a public, private, or governmental, any organization, when it gets big enough, is going to get difficult to manage. It's going to become, oh, that's what I was going to do. Okay, what do I want? I want to hear, something like that. How did I do this last time? Okay, what I did the other day. Let me show you guys something. Okay, so what I did, I need this to be 18 inches, two sides. 18 inches and 18 inches, right? So I'll just do them one at a time. I'm done. I can start doing the things. But I'm not, okay, here's the thing. I'm not anti-union, but I am anti-corruption. And the reality is that there's a lot of fucking corruption, and it doesn't matter who you're looking at. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that. Okay. And that is that. You know what that is? You know what that becomes? I will show you. It's a little small, but I'll do it. Do you know what these straps are good for? Let's do something. Let's take a break and do something fun. Actually, let's get a bigger piece. Let's get a bigger piece. Okay. I know I've got one. Where is it? I throw all my junk in here and I can never find it. Come on. Ah, there it is. Okay. I got one of those. I got me a keychain, right? So I'm going to put the keychain on. What did I do with the last one? Oh, you know what? Okay, be right back. Be right back. Be right back. My nose is itchy. I better blow my nose. Be right back. Now I gotta go get my thing. Where's my crap? Aha. Perfect. Okay. Well, that's not right. That's not right. That's not the one I want. Let's see what I got. La 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 la. Those are the D-rings. Those are the D-rings. That's not a D-ring, but it's too wide. That one's too narrow. That one's just right. Might go there. I don't have any. That's not it. I do not have what I'm looking for. Is that it? That'll work. This is too wide. Okay. That's too wide. Okay. That's a little too wide. I don't have a narrow one. That's too narrow though. Yeah, also a union worker here and thankful for what they do, which is true. Thankful for what they do. Thankful for what they do. Absolutely. However, I've seen the bullshit side of them too, and they just want to use you as a pawn for their own game. Went on strike, and while still thankful to them, it was an incredibly eye-opening experience and very much I take them with a grain of salt. I found the local does have the best interests of the employees in mind. Usually when the province and national leaders get involved, it eclipses the local needs. Absolutely. That's what I'm trying to say. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Back. Oh, that's no good. I do not have what I'm looking for. I do not have what I'm looking for. That sucks. That sucks. Okay, I'm gonna put this guy on just to show you how it's done. I guess this one's too big though. This one's way too big. I need a wider piece. I need a wider piece. I need a wider piece, but up to this. Do I have a wider piece? I don't have to leave this on. This is an amazing little, this is a fun little thing you can do. Just because you can. Here's my keys right now. That's my keychain. I've got two of these on the ends, right? I've only got one of these right now though. You know what? I'm just gonna do it with one. I'm gonna do it with one because that's gonna look like shit. Okay. So anyway, this is really simple. This is really simple. You go over here. You decide how long you want it to be, right? You put your ring on first. Give yourself some space. Do not sew just the very tip. Go down like about an inch or so. Come on. So And you're just sewing it and you don't care and you're just going to sew it. I got scissors everywhere today. Now, part of my problem, like, okay, so when I was living in St. Thomas, Ontario, Canada, so now you're like that, okay? And you got you sewed it, you got your cut edge. Now, flip it backwards, right? Pull this down to the end. Pull this down to the end. You guys see what I mean? You flip it down to the end. Flip it backwards. I'm just doing one instead of two. There's about 16 different ways you can do this, and you can give it some space. You don't have to pull it all the way to the end. So living in St. Thomas, Ontario, Canada, right? There's a small factory, employs mostly women, okay? Under the United Auto Workers, those are the same unions that handle shit like Ford, right? Okay, now this is a little bit, I put this really close. Oh, and I fucked it up. That's okay. Oh, no, I didn't. I don't know if I fucked it up or not. Oh, that's why I didn't go all the way across. Okay, I got to fix it. Anyway, let's get this rest of the way there. I didn't go all the way across, and I thought I had. Let's just make sure that's going to go down where I want it to. Oh, that's why. Okay. Now, I fucked it up because I FAFO'd it at the last second. But now you have a keychain that goes over your wrist. Or you can just make it shorter. And if you don't like it, here's the part I like best. Oh, I didn't like that. So I'm just going to cut this off. Anyway, okay. Story time. So St. Thomas, Ontario, Canada. Now, there's a big Ford plant there, making Ford vehicles, and they've been making them for years and years and years, right? So this Ford plant, one of their suppliers is a smaller factory, also managed by the United Auto Workers, right? Well, actually, yeah, I'm going to make that a little bit looser. So Auto Workers Union is handling both plants, right? And yet, amazingly, the one plant, at the same time that the auto workers were making $20 an hour, the women, not the 90% women, because that 700 women working for this plant, right? Their wages were $7 an hour, well, $5 at the time. So you just flip it. Oops. Yes. So basically, just sew that on. Just sew it on. Trim it if you want to. I'm going to make it a little bit, I'm going to do it a little bit different. Well, not different, but I wasn't paying attention. I'm still not, but anyway. Anyway, so basically, so the union was, and it's like, it's kind of to Gail's point, the union was so busy making sure that Ford, the big company with the big bucks, they were so busy trying to get the maximum amount of pay for their workers at Ford that they could fucking care less what was happening at this other factory that hired mostly women, and it was one of the major employers of single moms in the area. Like if you lived in the St. Thomas area, if you were my age and you lived in the St. Thomas area, either you or I worked there 2 or 3 different times. Like either you or somebody you know worked for this for United Technologies. Anyway, free trade gets signed, and everybody's going, shit, all the jobs are going to go to Mexico, right? And that's exactly what fucking happened. Basically, the contract comes up at this company, right? I'm going to flip that. from that direction too. The contract comes up, and the company says, if you don't sign this new contract, we're just going to shut down and move to Mexico. And the union said, yeah, whatever. They did nothing. They did absolutely nothing. They just said, we're just going to go on strike and see what happens. So they taught the union, because it's like, oh, well, shit. Now we give a shit about what happens to these women. These women making $5 an hour wanted a couple of extra dollars an hour. And the union had ignored this company for so fucking long and done so little. And don't forget, this is United Auto Workers. They can impact the entire fucking industry if they want. I could. Now, if I attach the ring, well, actually, what you could also do, once you have your bag attached, you can just, wait a second, take something like that and just tie it on. We'll see. Maybe this is something fun to throw in the bag. Maybe that, I've only got one of these. I would actually have to go out and get some. Anyway, that makes a quick and easy. Okay, I'm babbling at the same time, but this makes a really quick. Make your strapping longer than what you need it. Use any scrap you've got. Cut it a little bit longer, because you can always make it shorter. You can't add to it, right? And then just there you go. But all you gotta do is sew your ring on, and don't forget, you can get the ring off, right? You can still do the thing and get your ring off. It's just a lot quicker and easier to sew the ring on. Anyway, so yeah, so this union, one of the most powerful unions in the entire fucking country, sat there and did nothing while the company walked in and said, yeah, if you guys don't take this deal, the union said, oh, our workers need this, and this is what they need. And if you don't do this, we're going on strike. And the company basically said, look, they just signed the free trade deal. If you guys, this is what we're offering. And if you don't take it, we're shutting the doors, going to Mexico. And the union is like, you're not taking, and the union, oh, we're going to protect our workers. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. And like I said, it was a last minute thing. It's like, you can't threaten us. We're going to strike. And it's like, we're going to Mexico. And that's exactly what they did. Those workers went on strike, and those workers went on strike. The company locked the doors and were operating in Mexico within a month. So because they couldn't be bothered to give a shit about this. They couldn't be bothered to give a shit about the workers. At the same time, there was 700 women working at this one factory. There was like over 2,000 to 3,000 workers working at the Ford factory, right? Union did not care about these people at all until shit was hitting the fan. Talked them into striking it. Oh, you strike anyway. We'll protect you. The company shut the doors, went to Mexico, and the union did and said nothing. The union, if you weren't there, you didn't even know about it. Yeah, this is okay. This is really strong. Now, don't forget, because this is pure fabric. This is the beauty of DIY. Because this is just fabric, it's really strong. It's not going anywhere. I should have kept the other one. I just made this one like a week ago. I make myself a new keychain about once a year, because I just keep my shit in my pocket all the time. And if I don't, I just use scrap for it. So if I don't like it, but yeah, like once this one is done, once this one here is the same. This one here is the same thing. Only what I did was I put one on each end. But yeah. So over time, the fabric will start getting some wear and tear. And then once it's like, oh, it's a little much, then I make myself a new keychain. It's really simple. Really, 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 really simple. And you can do that. It just takes a couple minutes. So I'm going to put that there. That's going to be my backup keychain. That's my next keychain. Okay. Anyway. No, it's kind of that thing, though. It's like I said, unions had a very clear and distinct purpose, very, very beneficial, very, very necessary, very, very useful. I get it, but Postal Union, Canada's Postal Union. It's like, oh, well, this is the government. We can make them do whatever they want, and to a large degree they can. And so now they think that they are immune. What I'm doing here, I don't have the camera here. I can just fold this in half. I can just fold this in half and then cut it. I need a 36-inch piece, right? I can just fold it in half and cut it, but then these two pieces are too short for anything. So I'm just like fiddling it a little bit. And we already know that the first inch or so, that's where the mistakes. That's where the real mistakes happen. It's like, oh, because you're just getting it started. So now I've got one piece of waste that's too small to. Well, I could probably do something with it, but I'm not going to torture myself. And I've got one piece that's big enough for stuff. That was one I saved. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Anyway. But yeah, no, it was like really unfortunate because and the thing is that the auto workers union, it's like Gail said, once you get up to the national level, things change. But the union as it was representing, oh, they're just a bunch of women. It's like this is like, oh my God, when was this? I was like in my early 20s. This was a really long time ago. So the culture was different about, well, you're just a bunch of women, so we don't care. And we want to make sure that the men over at the big plant are protected. So that's where they put all their energy in. But, okay. Put that back to the center. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have fiddled around with this so much because I don't want it to fray on the edges, and I also don't want it to shift because I still got to come down here. Anyway, that is my political talk for the day. I think we've reached a point. I think we've reached a point where populations and countries and governments have gotten so big that it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who your guy is. There's corruption to be found almost everywhere. Okay, so this is going to be trying to keep it under 1/4 of an inch. By the way, I never did explain to you guys the reason why I'm doing this, then doing the flip and doing the thing, is because one thing about batik is it's way less stretchy. And that big plant is now an Amazon fulfillment center. Oh, most likely. Most likely. No, I don't know. I am just, I don't know. I hate everybody, though. We all know that. Okay, so where's my glove? I took my glove off. Now I need it back. This is why there's always 3 or 4 gloves sitting around. But yeah, so one of the reasons why I'm doing this bag the way I am, so I do this, then I flip it, and then I get the reason why I'm doing this the way I'm doing it. Oh my God, I got to stop and finish the sentence. The reason why I'm doing this the way I'm doing it is because batik is very heavy and does not stretch. It doesn't. As a matter of fact, if you have something made of batik, it's only going to shrink a little bit compared to how much cotton can shrink. But the more layers you get, the more layers you get of regular cotton, the harder it is for the needle to punch through, right? The more layers you get of batik, it's even harder to punch through because it's such a tight weave. It's a finer fabric with a much tighter weave, so it gets thick really fast. And I can break I made this for Lisa the other day out of it, and I can actually break my needle finishing the bag. I've broken many a needle trying to sew batik. So batik is wonderful to work with, but once you get too many layers, it can really become your worst enemy. I'm just continuing with the black on this since there's so much black in the bag. I don't think it'll matter. But yeah, so that is the whole reason for the This thing's gonna like, but yeah, like I mean, I just find that, and it certainly doesn't help that a friend of ours, one of the laziest, most useless workers I've ever seen, is now a union, is now working directly for the union that couldn't get him to work in the first place. Like he got a job, he got a government job, the government-based union. He got a government job, and the company couldn't do a fucking thing about the fact that he. Oh, thank you. He got a government job, so he got the instant he got in the union, he basically stopped working, and they couldn't get rid of him. They couldn't get rid of him, and they should have. And then a few years down the road, he gets a job with the union, teaching everybody else how to get that job and then never work again. It's like, I don't know. Okay, so this is the outside. This when it comes to batik, you kind of have to be very careful and count your stuff because it's the exact same on the inside and outside. There's no back, but this would be the front. So wrong sides together, because you're going to come back, flip the bag. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of in a political mindset kind of thing because of all the tariff bullshit. But I mean, even the tariffs is like, we've had tariffs going back and forth for like decades now. So all you got to do, make sure that whatever size seam you put has to be wider than the first seam that you did. So the first seam that I did was a little under 1/4 inch. This one's going to be closer to 1/2 inch. But yeah, so the reason why I don't like double fold and then fold this stuff together is because it makes it too heavy of a seam and I can break needles. This keeps me, this means I'm still stitching into 2 layers. Minimizes the amount of heavy fabric that I'm trying to punch through. But like I said, it's because it's a fine but non-stretchy compared to regular cotton. It's quite non-stretchy compared to what we're used to. So that is the reason why I picked this style. I gotta get the batik used up, but I don't want to be breaking all my needles. I shouldn't care. I shouldn't care. I've got so many needles. I bought 100 pack and I still haven't gone through them. But anyway, yeah. So we were talking about Diablo 4. It's a game. Basically, you pick your level. You pick the level that's going to make the most sense for you. But I've got my guy right now. My guy right now is, I've only got 2 more levels higher than what I'm at right now. And I literally, if it's like, I told you that my neck got screwed up because of the dog, right? It was my neck and shoulder. I literally played the game one-handed just with the mouse, walking through, because it's like my shoulder hurts. It's like, oh, my guy is so overpowered that I just have to walk into stuff and it explodes. It was awesome. Okay, not going to bother back stitching. I figured out. I did do a small change on how I was doing the boxing though. Come on. Should have just folded the whole thing properly inside out. So now I'm inside out. I know I'm inside out. This is the thing. You see that seam and you go, I'm not inside out. Oh my God. I fucked up so many of these bags when I was first making them. But yeah, I love playing Diablo. It's been a lot of fun this last month, just binging on it. Okay, I can make that. I forgot the back stitch at the top, but that's getting folded down and reinforced stitched anyway. my dog's over there snoring. So yeah, so with a little bit of luck, Sassy Dragon is going to start shipping by the end of next week. We just have to make sure the decks are inspected because they've been sitting in a warehouse somewhere waiting for customs for the last month. So we just got to make sure that there's no damage. It's unlikely, but we want that one box to be ticked off first. In the meantime, I get to, I don't need to worry about getting caught up. I've still got quite a bit of stuff in the shop. Okay, so that's done. I am going to do one bag at a time, though. I'm going to do one bag at a time because it just makes it easier for me. So what I was doing is once the bag was done, I've made a change on how I do this. What I was doing was once the bag was done, I'm going to go 2.5 by 2.5. I can't use a pen. Yeah, you don't change it. Yeah, I just like that. You just sit back and you go and I mean, I can adjust the difficulty of the game to make it so that I actually have to play, but I've been playing on I've been playing on an easier difficulty because I like to wind down with video games. I don't like to wind up, if you know what I mean. It's like, I've been trying to get past this boss for the last hour. I'm getting all wound up. It's like, no, I'm going to bed in half an hour. I'm not doing that. So it's just been really nice to be able to. And there's been a couple of times where I'm like, let's see if I can do this on the max. Like a Torment. There's Torment 4. You can go up as high as Torment 4. I'm at Torment 2 right now. And yeah, so I am probably going to try to do. This is a chalk, by the way. I don't know if you can see this or not. I don't know if you can see it, but the chalk moves. So if you're somebody with allergies or other issues, keep that in mind if you're choosing a chalk. I gotta double check on something too. And it's a non-staining chalk and it comes right off. But I don't know what it is because it seems to be the yellow is the only color that's been doing this. But whenever I use the yellow chalk, it just seems to go everywhere. You go that way. But I find I like the glove for that because it just kind of like soaks into the glove. Okay, so what I've started doing with this is what I was doing is cut the thing, flip the bag back, and do this exact same technique, but it's a little quicker and it's a little quicker and this quality is a little quicker and the quality doesn't change if I just line it up and I'm going to sew it. Then I'm going to line it up and then I'm going to give it a quick single sew just so that things won't shift, and then I'm going to fold it and sew it a second time. That way it'll be sewn down and reinforced. What the heck was that? Oh, that's weird. Second. Oh, okay. I accidentally clicked something. No, I don't know. I'm just liking it. And I always find myself after a while getting into these games, I find myself watching videos, doing the thing, and I'm just really enjoying FAFOing. I mean, Lisa and I are still not 100% sure what happened. Hey, Gail, you can tell me what happens when the season ends. Because I've got a barbarian and I've got my necromancer. Now, my necromancer is also playing the storyline. Does my necromancer get to continue, but without the witch powers? You earn witch powers in the game, by the way, which is really fucking awesome. There. So I'm not making this. I'm doing a pretty narrow seam here because the only reason why I'm sewing this is because it needs to be held in place. It's just too fiddly. It is super fiddly to try and line this up. Continues in the internal realm, which is the non-season realm. So you lose So okay, so right now my necromancer has all the witch powers and all that stuff. So does he now? This is okay. We were trying to look this up and couldn't figure it out. So So my necromancer is going to lose all the witch powers, but still be able to stay in the same. So does my necromancer then move on to collecting whatever bonus is available on the next thing? So I've just done a quick stitch to get it to hold it in place. But see this section? Oh, you guys probably can't even see this. This is where that seam comes down, right? So I've got all that layer that it's going to get folded and folded again. So just keep that in mind. And I'm trying to make it fairly narrow. I'm trying to do a fairly narrow fold because it's already been sewn. Now I just have to bury that. I got to hide the seam. I got to bury that seam. So it doesn't need to be super, super thick or heavy. I can clip it. I probably should have taken a month off from this. So I probably should clip it to make sure it's not going to shift. So I'm just giving it a quick fold. Just a non-season realm. So the eternal realm, I just lose those powers and I don't get to access and I don't get to continue. Do I or don't I get to continue with my necromancer with witch powers, with no powers, or with the opportunity to build up whatever bonuses are going to come from the next season? Does that make sense? If the question makes sense. So because we've been looking this up, that is the one thing that we've looked up online. So I'm starting, even though this is on an angle, so it won't fold all the way to the end, but I'm still going to start at the end and then sew. Just make sure it says that. The witch powers are seasonal, so you'll lose those, but you'll still have your character. Okay. When the season ends, you'll want to open your character to take all the stuff in your stash. Okay, it only holds for a month after the season ends. So take all the stuff in your stash. Oh, okay. So all the stuff in my stash is going to disappear. I don't really have that much in my stash right now. Like I said, I've only been playing for a few weeks, so I haven't had a chance to build up some really insane shit. So I'm going all the way from the end because it just helps to hold that. There's going to be a line. It puckers funny if you don't start all the way down to the end. The two ends, even though the fold doesn't go all the way to the end, it will pucker funny. Okay. And I'm doing this is just to hold it down. This is the spot where all this shit meets. You might be able to even hear it. Thunk, thunk. And it's hung up. So this is a big enough bump that it just stops. So your character and Paragon and equipment will stay the same. Just the witch power tab. And I assume any witch power gems you crafted would just... Oh, I've only got 3 runes. I've only got 3 witch power runes that I'm using right now. So those disappear. Okay, that's good to know because I'm using 3 of those right now. But I'm not... you know what? The only reason why I'm using them is for the extra armor. I'm using them for the extra armor so that I can still face. I want to be able to face roll, and I don't want to lose all my armor. Mind you, I guess if my bone storm does fortify and all that stuff. I guess if I'm fully fortified. So there's one side of my bag done. Let's go over here. Let's do that. That is what we've been trying to find out. We've been trying to find out what, if anything, we get to keep. We're trying really hard to not. We did look it up because we weren't sure. And it's like, well, what should we focus on? But if that's how it works, then it's like, I'm just going to focus on farming crafting materials like obdusite. Or is that, please tell me that shit's not going to disappear too. But yeah, we've only been playing for about... They have a season system, and the seasons change about what, twice a year. So, you know, we're still pretty brand new at a seasonal arc that is going to end in like 6 weeks. So, but we don't care. It's fun, and we're having fun, and it's fun. So I'm not worrying about a super, I'm not worrying about, I'm just doing a very narrow seam here. As narrow as I can get away with. Because I'm going to be, because I'm just, like I said, when you're trying to do these, when you're trying to box your corners, they're so tedious. If you can line it up and then fold it up and do all of that in one step without having to tack it down first, by all means. But I'm finding it a lot easier if I don't bother. If I just sew through twice. Oh, don't have them over there. Okay. Runes should be good. Just the specific gems you make with the coven by the tree. Specific gems that you make with the coven by the tree. I don't think I've got any of those. I'm not really doing. I got the runes that I wanted. I got the runes that I wanted. And it said I got the runes that I wanted, and it says that you can only have like, you can't use this. Oh, that's, yeah, like you can't make the same rune twice and all that shit. So I've got the ones that I want. But those are good. Yeah, those are going to boost my witchcraft powers anyway. So whether or not I keep them is not going to matter because the witchcraft powers are going to go away. So when you're going from narrow, just 2 or 3 layers up to like, because this is like 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 8. This is going to be 12 layers of fabric when I hit that center. When you're going from that to that, it's quite common for your machine to just stop letting it. Yeah, stop pushing it forward. Just get behind. Don't reef. Just put enough pressure on and just slowly increase start stitching and slowly increase the pressure till it starts moving. And then you're good to go. Again, I'm just going right to the end because I want the box to look normal without a poofy in it. Do. Yeah, Galena. Seasonal rum. So good news, bad news, the Obdicite and all that goes with you into the eternal and is shared with any other characters you have is eternal. But when the next season begins, it doesn't appear in the new seasonal realm. So you need to make a new character again. Wait, but okay. The Obdicite and all that goes with you into the eternal and is shared with any other characters you have in eternal. So if I start a new character for the next season, I have to farm my Obdicite all over again. Everything else is super easy. Obdicite, there's this one. Okay, you need this one material in Diablo. You need this one material to upgrade your stats. And the one material is you need all kinds of different materials. They're all super easy to get except for Obdicite. It's a bitch. Mind you, you know what? I've been doing the seasonal stuff. Runes are a different thing. There's top and bottom. Yeah, I've got those. I think it's the witch power gems you might have, the ones that you can. Yeah, I've got 3 of those. I've got the okay. So I've got my runes from the expansion. I've got my runes. That stays inside out. This stays inside out. You are not turning this inside right again until you're done. It stays inside out for a few more minutes. Yeah. See, I figured that one out. I was not 100% sure. Because like I said, I'm faffling and not looking anything up. Gold, Obdicite, all of that starts again. I don't sew and don't game, but I love this space. Absolutely. Here's the thing. I like to state what I'm doing and how I'm doing it because there's plenty of people here who do so. And here's the thing. The invitation is always there. If some people are like, hey, I'm trying to do a thing. Should I do this? Should I do that? And it's like, hey, I'll talk you through it. That's not a problem. And sometimes, like Gail Quilts, right? Sometimes people are giving me advice. And I'm like, if somebody says, oh, don't do that, or do it this way, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, good. Tell me more. Okay, so this here is a lovely little trick. So I've got my bag. Okay. I folded it in half. I folded it in half by matching the stitch lines, not the, even though they're, because sometimes one seam can be wider than the other, right? Always match where you've sewn, because that's the area that's not going to change. Get it nice and lined up. Take your time. Trim that corner. Just touch the corner just a bit. Yeah, which by the tree? What the fuck, right? So when you trim your corner, now I've got that little tiny notch. And now I know exactly where my center is. Because I'm going to go and flip this about. This will make sense in a minute. I'm going to flip this about 1.5 inches. And I don't care if it's perfect. Again, one of those intentional shortcuts. So I flipped it to, the seam is nice and heavy, right? So I flipped it where the seam is, and now I'm just going to start. I press it down gently from the center, and now I'm just putting a little to the side. Okay. I believe I went 4 inches last time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's what I did. Okay. So there they are. So I take one short handle, one long handle. And like I said, this is not instructions that you must be following along at home for this to make sense. One short handle, one long handle. This is hard to see, by the way. Black on black on black on black. And anyway, so you find that notch, and you line your ruler up with that notch. Make sure it's nice and straight. 1, 2, 3, 4. I found the 4-inch line, and the interior. Wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that might be 2. No, that's about right. Okay, so I line up the little handle just so that the edge of the. I line up the little handle so that the edge of the handle is at the 4-inch line, and I tuck it in, and I'll pin it down. I just put in a clip, doop, 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 like that. Then I make sure my thing's not moving, and then I go find my center again. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not minding that the handle, the short handle is a little, is technically a little too short, but the short handle is not necessarily the handle you're going to use a lot anyway. Wait a second, what did I do? There we go. Okay, so the long handle, everybody has their preference. My preference is for the folded section. There's a section where all the folding was done. Then there's just the back that was decorative. Yeah, I bought a black cutting board like an idiot. It sits under my sewing machine and is rarely used. Eventually, I'll replace the beat up green one. Exactly. It's like, I will tell you right now, certain colors are. So now this is really, this should be really easy. Once your first one is lined up, the second one is going to line up right beside the first one, right here, and that's going to sit on the other side. So basically, when you see these handles, where they're touching is where the 4-inch line is. And this is the same technique. It doesn't matter. You do the same thing. Just double check your straps to make sure that they're lined up the way you want them to line up. Okay, that goes there. Yeah, that is the quickest. That little notch, and just make, and I'm doing a relatively thick seam through here. Just make sure that little notch is not going to go past where your fold is going to be. So when I fold this, because I'm going to fold this in, right? When I fold that, the notch just disappears and it's gone. Make sure you're not just big enough to be seen, but not so big that it's still going to have a notch on the side. So basically what I've been doing, this is like 1.5 inches, right? So I just put the clips on so that they're all the way on. Instead of putting the clip on very gently at the back, I put it all the way forward. And then I just fold this back until it reaches the tip there. The tip there. And then just everything just wants to lay down nicely for me. So it's done. Yeah, it's easy to lose time gaming and sewing. Absolutely. Like, I mean, it's way easy to lose time. So basically, what happens when you do a bag, it's insanely easy to lose time. So, one trick that people do is they flip their bag over, and then they go, I'm just going to line it up here and here, which you can do. If you are confident in what you're doing, you can just line it up and then just put your next two ones right here and right here, or you put your ruler down and then just do it again. Where is it? There it is. I prefer to just do it again because if you're, I'm usually driving home. What time is it now? Yeah, I'll be here. Basically when I'm streaming, I'm usually just hanging out, I'm not trying too hard at life when I'm coming on to stream, you know? So usually when I'm streaming, I am usually around till like probably close to 5 when Lisa gets home. So just line it up. And then this can go now because I'm going to line up. There's Swan. There's Swan. And the way that you do these, the way that I do this, okay, the way that I do this is I decide how I'm going to do this. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up on, I don't know if the camera can pick it up or not. So I kind of like fold it in half, right? Because I want you, okay, you do not want to sew in a twist. So I just kind of fold it in half, lay it down, get everything where I want, and then I take it and I open it that way. And then it's going to stay nice and flat. Even because with these longer ones, with this one, it's easy. If this short one, okay, you guys are not seeing the same thing I'm seeing because it's such a mess, right? Because it's so eye bleedy here. But on a short handle, it's really easy to tell it's usually really easy to tell if it's twisted. On a long handle, it can be twisted and it can be harder to spot. So I start with it in half, and then I fold it outwards like I'm opening a book. And then I just put it in, tuck it all the way down to the bottom, put the clip all the way up. This is just for logistics, for where I'm doing. There you go. And okay. Now, I took too much of a break. The idea is for me to do 3 or 4 at a time and get them all stacked up. And have a good drive, Nat. I'm really bad for that. The idea here is for me to do each step and then do 3 or 4, 3 or 4, 3 or 4, 3 or 4. But I took too big of a break, so now I just gotta I need to make sure I'm not fucking this up. So again, fold it down to where the clips are. I want it to have a fairly wide hem because I'm going to be coming over this twice. So here's where okay, that's got to go the other way. So I'm also coming back. Okay, so this piece here, that extra piece here, it's folded that way from the bottom. It's been sewn in facing that way. So I do have to make sure that this piece is facing that way at the top, or this is just going to be chunky. It's going to be a problem. So you just do that, make sure it's folded in the right direction, eyeball it. Again, this is one of those corners that I cut. This is one of those corners I cut for the privilege, I guess, but in order to keep my timing and my quality stays the same, timing changes. I do want to get faster at making these bags. So Come on. Okay. Does not need to be perfect. I want to get faster. The type of bag that this is not going to be harmed by cutting a couple by, like I said, I could be coming. Okay. You can come through here and you can go, I want this to be a half an inch. You can come through here and tell yourself, I want this hem to be a half an inch. But the reality is that the time that it takes to make sure that that's all perfect is time that I could be working on other projects. And at the end of the day, I really don't have 2 hours a bag to put into making these. Okay, thunk, thunk, thunk. I always do a little back stitch. Whenever I'm going over these areas where it's thicker, I always make sure that there's a little bit of a back stitch in there, just because. Even if you don't really, even when I don't think I really need it, I try to do it anyway, because heavy corners like that are usually, for some reason, where stuff like that tends to fall apart the quickest. So by the way, you kind of have to take your tray off, because you got to be able to, this is rolling underneath the arm. It's going down and under. You can do it without, you can sew it anyway without, but hey, you can also put your clips in the bowl. You can sew it anyway without doing that, but it's always a lot easier. So I'm just holding everything with my hands right now. I got to get my glove back on. Actually, I've been doing fine like that last little bit. So I am going all the way over the straps, all the way back. Again, bring that in, bring that in, bring that in. Take advantage of your fabric's natural ability to want to go where it's going. Anyway, yeah, I am okay. So basically, I am enjoying this game way too much, but it's been a really nice break. For the longest time, I really wouldn't play video games, because it's really easy to get sucked into it, and then I'm not getting anything else done. But it's like now, it's like, well, I just turned 60 this year. I basically have had what? I turned the shop off for like 2 months and was going fucking, okay, I cleaned up, I got a bunch of other stuff taken care of, but I was still going fucking nuts trying to find enough shit to do. And then the tariff stuff happened, and it's like, oh, we don't know what's going on for that. So then it's like, well, kept the shop open, but it's like, it's kind of really hard to get the motivation to do more if you're not sure if you're going to be affected or not. So that happened. Did the game, forgot the game, I don't know, I think, okay, so now we're doing the same thing here. We're just going to open this up, give it a tug, fold it back in, and keep going. And I'm just going to, sometimes when you're fiddling stuff into place, you'll find yourself turn the whole work like that. So if things get fiddled around, just lift the foot. I've got my knee lift, but lift the foot and just put it back where you need it. Or lift the foot and do your fiddling and then reposition it. Okay. Anyway, this has been kind of nice. Kind of like it's been a low key kind of week so far. So this is a nice get my feet back in the waters of doing stuff. I've got oh, that's why. Okay, I thought something was making a pleat, and it's actually happening on the bottom, on the bigger piece instead of on the fold here. See, this is just beautifully lining up exactly the way I want it. That's why I always this is one of the things I talk about all the fucking time. Back up, do your folding from here and work forward instead of trying to, I see people fiddling from here. A lot smoother. Okay, it depends on the project, and it depends on what you're doing, but I find it a lot smoother when you can back up, a lot smoother. But anyway, no, I am probably binging. I don't know if I think I might prep. I think I might stay working on these bags for the rest of the day. But do a sewing binge instead of a video game binge. I think I might binge my sewing for the day and get caught up on these bags so I can get some more bags going. Okay. Again, just. Also, don't forget, once you've sewn over something the very first time, have you ever gone to Quilt Canada? They are hosting in Toronto this year, and I'm thinking of going, but I'm not sure. I keep saying I want to go to something like that. I'm all the way out in BC, so I'm not sure. I'm all the way out in BC, and I'm not sure how affordable a trip like that is. Okay. For us to travel, just the pet care alone can be a problem because they both need, because Bruno's a diabetic, so that's its own thing. But yeah, so don't forget, once you've sewn over something the first time, if you are having to do your back stitches and your reinforcing stitches and stuff, that it's a lot of people are, it's like, how do I seal it all down while I reinforce? And it's already been tacked down. Just go, get her done. Okay, now I'm back to the beginning. Okay. Yeah, I keep thinking I want to do something like that just as an excuse to even if I do nothing other than use it as an excuse to go somewhere or whatever, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that would work for us. I don't know that it would be worthwhile. I don't know how that would work. They have a big quilting show here every year, and I've actually never gone. So it's like, okay. So this is just a simple matter. I'm going all the way around. I'm just making sure. I'm making sure that nothing's last step. So I am starting here at the corner. I keep saying I want to go to something like that. Here's the thing. I like quilting, but I'm such a noob. I mean, I really only focus on projects that I can do really fast. It's a catch-22. I enjoy it, but I don't have the patience to actually get good at it. That's something I realized. Oh, that's something I could have done. I just thought of something I can do. And it's too late to do it on this bag. Where is it? Oops. I forgot to pull that one up. That's okay. Pull it up. Pull it up without pinching your thing at the top. There you go. All the way across, all the way back. Reinforce the shit out of that shit. This is where it's going to be really obvious that this handle's a little on the short side, but it's intentional. I would love. There's a quilting guild around here, but I don't know. It's a huge catch-22 for me. It's a huge catch-22 for me because I'm enjoying being a noob, and I don't know that I'm in a position where I want to slow down and take it seriously, because I realize that one thing I want to do is do things quickly. Like even when I am top stitching and getting the quilting done and stuff like that, I go way faster. I've gone to a few small local shows, and I just love looking at all the quilts. I've never gone to one with the big shows before. I would love to go to one of the big shows. I really would. I would love to go out to a big show, especially to get some ideas for things that I can do relatively quickly again, right? What I realized is the tiny intricate stuff. Do you do like the bigger, quicker projects, or are you one of those focus on the tiny stuff? I would never have this is something I've realized about myself. I would never have the patience to do a postage stamp quilt. Is where you take, just for everybody else in the room, a postage stamp quilt is where you literally take pieces of fabric that are like an inch and a half, and sew them all together. Yeah, I don't think I would ever submit anything. But I don't think I have the, yeah, I don't know. I really enjoy it when I do it. I am not the kind of person that can start, okay, back to postage. A postage stamp quilt is when you're doing like a 60-inch by 60-inch quilt, or a 60 by 80, or a king size quilt, and none of the pieces are bigger than like an inch. Like, so you got like basically, and don't forget when you add your 1/4 inch seam allowances, you're talking about 1/2 inch squares when you're done. I have seen quilts that are like, I don't have the patience for it. It's like, I love watching videos though. Like, whenever I see, oh, there's a quilt show, there's the video from a quilt show, it's like, I'm watching it. I think I would enjoy it. I think I would really enjoy it. And there's nothing wrong with preferring quicker, easier quilts. Size doesn't seem to be an issue for me. I've done a couple of king size quilts now for Lisa. It just seems to be that I can't just put one away. Yeah, I don't do a lot of tiny piecing. I think the smallest I work with is 1-inch squares for part of a pouch I made for someone as part of a swap. Yeah, I don't think I can. I've done some projects using tiny pieces, plenty of them, but I seem to need to be able to get it done. The tiny work part of it, I seem to need to be able to get it done in that part in just a few days. And I can't seem to bring myself to start a quilt and get a quilt top done, and then just put the quilt top away until I get around to finishing it. I do traditional piecing, foundation paper piecing, and I've started English paper piecing, mostly to have something to do by hand in front of the TV. Oh, that you can do without, yeah. I can't do a lot of that stuff by hand. I can't do a lot of the hand stuff. I don't know what it is that I've got that's like persistent tendonitis or something, but if I try and do too fine of work, my hands just don't like it. So basically everything, once you get you do the outside seam, flip it inside out, and then it stays inside out until you're done. I just hate cutting. That's the word. That's funny. I don't mind cutting at all. I am absolutely fine with cutting. There, one down. So this is mostly what I realized as I was getting the first bag. So this is actually quite a big bag. The measurements, when you look at the measurements, it's like the corner to corner on the bag is only like 11 inches now. 11 inches long by, I think this is like 6 inches. Oops, 6.5, 7.5 inches wide. So it's a nice big, you could put like a whole pie in the bottom of this thing, right? So the smaller handles, are there. Like what I do is I get my bag full of shit. It's sitting there and it's all sitting there full of shit, right? I'm gonna say the word shit 37 times. So I fill my bag up. I get all the shit in the bag, right? So then I get my handles here, and then just and use that to hold everything in place while I'm getting it over my shoulder. That sounded weird, but lifting it. So once you take it off your shoulder, you grab the handles and finish putting it the rest of the way down to the floor. That way things aren't sliding and shifting. And the short handles are there. I'm finding having 2 sets of handles incredibly useful is the punchline. So I am going to stick with the 2-handle design. I like that the short handles. Oh my fucking God. So after all that fucking, oh no. Okay. Nope. After all that advice, this handle's got a twist in it. I just got some of those arthritis gloves the other day to help them in my 30s. Yeah, I get an issue. I've got like tendonitis that goes up my thumb here. So when I'm doing too much of this, my thumb can start whatever. That's why I literally, after all that talking, have a twist in this handle. It is really hard to see that it's twisted, the best way is like, is this twisted? Fold it together. Fold the two pieces together and then go like that. Is it twisted? Why, yes, it is. Right? So then you go over to this one. You go over to this one. You go, okay, fold them together. That's not twisted. I sewed in a twist. After all that, this is what happens when I'm distractedly sewing. That's okay. Another bag for the Pepez household. Or I can send it over to I think Lisa wanted one of these in this shade anyway. It's an optical illusion design feature. I'll tell you right now, if you are new to sewing, okay, I just fucked this one up. I got distracted. I am way more likely to make a mistake when I'm trying to sew on camera than any other time. So 100% user error. But if you are going to start sewing, if you are new at sewing, and if you are new at sewing and trying a new project, don't go for projects that have got a lot of visual, not a lot of visual shit. That's like the wrong thing. Like this here is like black on black. Black on black is can be, and it's not like, oh, you're blind. Black on black can be difficult to see at the best of circumstances. And I'm trying to figure out how to fold this thing. And it's like, I don't even know how to fold them. Screw it. Throw the handles inside. Throw the handles to the inside. Take the bag to the outside. Tuck that one back in. Tuck that one back in. I like that everything won't just immediately fall to the middle since you've got a nice base. I'm not sure what you mean. I'm distractible now that I've made a mistake. I'm distractible and I'm losing track of where the conversation was because I'm a distracto butch. There. Now, a friend of John's dropped off some bags for John, and he folded them perfectly. So the long handles tuck inside. One of the short handles tucks inside. Am I going to get this right? I bet you I'm not. He did that. So there, you got one handle left. You take that handle and fold it backwards. Side to side. There you go. Did he? No. It had to be a little tiny bit shorter. You just size it to the. Okay, one of those goes inside. I am trying to remember what this guy did. He's like, yeah, my mom made me. It's like my mom taught me how to do this. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. No, I just fucked it up. It's fine. Back that way, backwards. Nope, I did it wrong. That's okay. Because you squared your corners, it's not just one of those narrow toe. Oh yeah. Basically, I wanted this to hold everything. It's like, well, what kind of a bag do you take to the market? What kind of a bag do you just take with you when you're just hanging out? I like the extra. Yeah, that's. I like the extra. I am going to have to ask Nathan and say, buddy, what the hell did you do? Because I would like to be able to fold these up properly. That comes tucked inside. It does not have to be perfect. It just has to take. But yeah, like I wanted it to have a really wide base. I want it to have a really wide base because I want it to have the widest variety of uses. So having a wide base like that really like just makes it able to hold so much. And here's the thing, it's not making the bag, it's making the bag a little shorter because now it's only, I started with 19 inches. I lost 5 inches of height on the bag, but now it's got so much versatility. Anyway, I am not going to stop trying to fold this bloody thing. I'm going to, because I fucked it up, so I can't sell it anyway. And then we'll just go from there. Jesus Christ. You know what I think I just did? I think I just got it. Nope. I still didn't get it, so I don't feel bad now. I just wanted to take up as little space as possible. But anyway, next one. Next. I got like 3 more to do. So there's that. Now I gotta not fuck it up. It is really, it is really easy to fuck things up when you can't see the contrast the same way. And it was 100% my fault that thing was twisted, but I may have had a slightly better chance of spotting it if there'd been more contrast. That's what I'm trying to say. You're still gonna fuck up. Like just like anything, you're gonna fuck up. But I'm sorry about my hand tag. Bye, CC. You have a good night. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Now, like everything, you are going to fuck up. That is, where did I put my, there it is. You are going to screw things up. That is just exactly how it is done. Start with simple projects that sound like fun, especially if it's projects you already have the materials for. Or you get a discount material or whatever. But anyway, come on. Do. Gotta put that back over there. Yeah, just watching my arm. Here, look at my tattoo while I sew. It's fine. Yeah, I don't think we have a lot of anything else going on. I'm trying to get, and the shop's still doing fine, so I don't need to worry about that. I'm worrying about leveling up on my game. Kid you not, I played for like 12 hours yesterday. It was pitiful. I played for because I was playing during the day, and then Lisa came home and her and Dawn were playing. It's like, I don't want to make a lot of noise and wreck their game. So I just kept playing mine. And then I got up this morning and I'm like, I need to do something besides playing games for a day. I know, I'll come talk to you guys. I haven't seen you guys in a while. Okay. No, I am going to do the thing. And just I'm going to get the next 3 bags done this far. And then I'm going to get decided. I gotta start figuring out an assembly line process. Basically, an assembly line process is you figure out one step at a time, and then you just stick with it. Okay, and if I'm going to assembly line it, I really have to backstitch. But I gotta get out of here soon anyway. Soon, yeah. I'll start saying goodbye now, and I'll be gone in about an hour and a half. But that is an interesting thought, though, a quilting show. I would love to go to one. I bet there's some local stuff. That's what I should do, is like before I decide how much I would love to go to a big show. But we've got dog care. Dog care costs a lot when you're traveling. I don't know that I would want to go by myself. That's the thing. I don't think I'd want to go without Lisa. And I don't know. She would have to take vacation time, arrange for the dog care, 2 of everything. Yeah, I don't know. I need to go to a local one, though. Because there's a local one that happens in downtown Vancouver every year. At least there was. I don't know if there still is. But otherwise, I'm just going to be all about my video game. So Gail plays Diablo. Does anybody else play video games, or is it just me and Gail, the only gamers in the group? Yeah, I think there's only like 6 or 7 of us actively in the group in watching right now, but I don't know. I used to play World of Warcraft. Played that for years and years and years. yeah, just a day trip. Yeah, see, here's the thing. I'm kind of like I'm overthinking. Now that you've brought it up, I'm overthinking it because the thing is that there's a couple of different quilting events. I think they're local, but there's a couple of different events that happen around here locally that I could probably get to. I should go. I don't have a day job. I mean, that sounds snotty, but I don't. Like, I mean, we could go out. I could go out during the week. I could go out on a weekend. It's all just a day trip for us as well. It wouldn't be like, I mean, if there was some sort of a quilting event happening in downtown Vancouver, I can just hop on transit and be there in like less than an hour. So I don't have to do anything special to make it happen. That's what I was trying to get at. Don't gotta book holidays. Don't gotta book anything. Don't gotta travel. Okay. Okay. Days inside out. Oh, I'm sniffy again. I want to check something. That's why I keep losing that. There it is. Chalk dust is an irritant for me, and it's not fun once I get in. Okay, it's not just, oh my God, one piece of chalk, but I'm going to check and see if this will show up. Yes. Okay. So this is still a chalk. Water erasable pencil. It is still a chalk, but it's not as dusty. I try to avoid using the chalk when I can. So I only use it if nothing else works. Now, if this was in regular cotton, I wouldn't be able to see it. I just marked it all up, did the thing. Not that you guys care. Well, you might. You go there. I have a plan, and I want to do one. I might do one later. I have a plan to use up either batik or quilting cottons and do a wide seam. I'm gonna do a sample right now. I'm gonna do a little sampling for myself right now. Okay, so I need something that's a little bit less contrasting. Hi, Sheila, baby. Okay, make a green. No, that's not batik. That's not batik. Why am I finding not batik in my batik? I don't want to waste that one. Aha. Oh, there's two little pieces. Perfect. Okay. Gonna be 1 second. Okay. I am going to do a little sampling. I find workshop in May. It would be my first time sewing around people, and it's way out of my comfort. Yeah, you know what? I found 2 little pieces of batik, and I want to try something. Oh, come on. Why are you not heating up? I like this iron. I like this iron because with 2 dogs running around, bumping into everything, my last iron broke because I dropped it one too many times, because just knocking into it. But sometimes this iron, when I try to use it, it's you can't just turn it on to temperature and then walk away. You have to turn it on to temperature and then make sure that it's been moved or something. It's got a lot of safety stuff built into it. Okay, so I'm going to stick with the black. I want to try something. I want to try this. Need a flat piece. La la la. Yeah, I keep thinking I want to. I keep thinking I want to do stuff like that. But I am. Okay, here's the thing. I have been at different places while they haven't. We've got two, my one supplier and another supplier. This is like before COVID even, right? They would, oh no, I need like a 1-inch seam. Is that 1 inch? I don't know why. 3/4, half, 3/4, that's 1 inch. Okay. I'm going to do like a 1-inch seam. This is something I want to think about. Do a 1-inch seam. Okay. So I do a 1-inch seam. Now it seems like a lot, but if I do a wider piece, this is my idea. I was thinking about this just the other day. So I'm going to open this up, and this is just a sample. So ideally this would be wider and this would be wider, right? Okay, just like anybody, when you're sewing your seams open, right? Okay, a lot of times. So if you're doing quilting, then it's very common. You sew your 2 pieces together, and then let me just turn this. Okay, it's very common with quilting. You sew your 2 pieces together, and like I said, we're assuming that these are both bigger pieces, okay? And then it's very common that you sew your quilting, and then you sew your seams. You iron your seams open. So what if you iron your seams open, and then obviously this is a sample. So obviously in the real world, you're going to use coordinating fabrics and coordinating thread. So these 2, if I was to do these 2, then I would use pink thread and black thread, or maybe I would use a gold thread to make them tie together. Okay, who is, oh, there, somebody's farting, and I want to choke, and it's not me. Okay. Now I can iron or not iron. So I take this, I'm over here. So I take that, look, okay, so now I've got, and again, if I use coordinating thread, so either you choose it because I choose a pink or I choose a whatever, right? So then I've got all of my seams that are sewn down. So doesn't that mean that if I do take a bunch of scraps, sew it all together, do it with a 1-inch seam so I can fold it in, right? Then I can get a big enough piece and make one of these bags out of scrap. I can make one of these bags out of scrap and use up a bunch of this stuff. And I think it would look really cool. It would still be nice and strong. I think I should try it. I think I should absolutely try it. Because when you're quilting, when you're doing sewing for quilting, the only thing that I would do is I would just join them together with a slightly narrower stitch, and then do a slightly wider stitch on this. So I think I was trying to remind myself to do this a couple of days ago to see what I thought about it, because then I can just add a piece of this, a piece of that. Then I just take and add a piece of this and just do it all. Yeah, that'd be really cool. But because the thing is that, which is that? This is the leftover. This is all the leftovers. Okay, when I'm trimming this is what got me thinking about this. When I am trimming this stuff, when I'm trimming all of this to make a bag, this is, let me just double check on that. That is 19 inches. So, okay, fold it in half and then 19 inches, 38. And it's a 42 inch width of fabric. So you have to take off some of the width of fabric because it's just messy and whatever. So you have to do that. So I've been saving this and don't know what the fuck to do with any of it. So what if I start taking this, because it's the correct width. It is the correct width. So what if I start just sewing this stuff together? I don't care if it's narrow or wide. And as long as I'm sewing down my seams, it's not going to be messy on the inside. It's the exact same. And once I get this part done, it's the exact same process. I'm going to do it. I'm going to start saving all of this. Okay, you know what I might do? This is the joy of sewing professionally, is that I could even just cut some of this up just to be intentional about it and test first. So, because if I save this, I've got to save for weeks and weeks or however long it's going to take me to get enough stuff, right? So if I cut this up if I cut up some strips and be intentional about it and make a sample bag out of it, and I like how it turns out, then I've now got a reason to start saving all of this. Because when you're doing width of fabric, I don't know if this one, okay, I can see it. I don't know if you guys can. This is width of fabric, right? Nope, it's not going to show up. I can tell. Okay, when you have a piece of fabric that's going from edge to edge, the edges can be messy, right? So you have to take off the top inch or so anyway. Hey, Jesse. What do I use? I don't know. Let me check. I usually use whatever's cheap. honestly. This just came with the machine. Organ needles. I use those. These are I don't know what that, 100/16. This is one of my favorites. Schmetz Gold. Schmetz Gold, this is actually for embroidery at 7511. I actually really like using this one because when I get into some of my stuff, I have sections where I'm trying to sew through like 10, 12, 14 layers of fabric at a time. And the gold needles are far less likely to stick and hang up. But I got the organ needles. I quite often use those when I'm quilting because they just go through everything. And other than that, I actually really prefer this. I prefer the Schmetz. Yeah, that's the Schmetz. That's the embroidery again. Yeah, so there's regular embroidery. I use embroidery. Embroidery needles are meant to just go forever, thousands and thousands of stitches. But like, I still keep the stuff that comes with the machine. I'm pretty indiscriminate. I don't use a jersey needle. I use the sharp needles. I have some jersey needles. I don't like them. I do like them, but they break. I don't know. Okay, jersey needles are basically meant for jersey knits, and they can end up breaking pretty easily, which is a surprise, but it's true. So I'm gonna do a test. I'm gonna cut some fabric up. I'm gonna do a test. I'm gonna make a bag out of the test. It might be smaller. It might be smaller depending on how it sews up. Well, depending on how I do it. And then we'll see what we like. Yeah. It's 4:30 now. There's no way I have time for it today. But if I do a test bag and I like how it turns out, then I think I should, because that's a lot. Like, look how wide that is. If I do a 1-inch seam on either side, because like I said, do a 1-inch seam so that I can then have, I don't want to be fiddling around with 1/8 of an inch and all that shit, right? So if I do like a 1-inch seam, or maybe a half inch is still a little, but if I do a wide seam, then bring it in. So if I take 1 inch off either side, one, okay, that's only going to be like a 1/2 inch piece when I'm done. But it doesn't matter. It does not have to be a full 1/2 inch. I think I'm going to try it. I think I'm going to try. I would love to find a way to get these used up, because the thing is that I can use them. I can't always guarantee that they're going to be, that these pieces, like, look, there's one piece, right, off of one fabric, but there's the other piece. They're not the same width. They're different widths. So I cannot use these pieces of fabric assuming that they will be wide enough for handles or wide enough for whatever, but I could use them as a FAFO fabric as long as I am sealing down my seams. I think I'm going to do it. I keep saying I think I'm going to do it, and then I start the conversation with myself all over again, and I've come to, I think I'm going to do it 6 times in a row now. So I'm going to start saving. I'm going to do one intentionally, just to see what I think of it, and then as long as I like it, it's like I said, I don't have enough scrap laying around right now, so I have to do something intentionally first. I'll do one intentionally first, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, that's going to be really good. One with intention, and then from there, if I like it, I start saving all of that stuff, because honestly, sometimes you want to just sit down and sew for the sake of sewing and not have an end goal. And if I'm taking all of that stuff and making it and just sewing it together, sew a piece on, sew down the seams, sew a piece on, sew down the seams, it wouldn't be hard to do. So that's a thing. There we go. Oh, I still got that one. Do. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put my stuff away too. I got shit everywhere. That's pretty sad, actually, considering how much sewing I have not gotten done this month. Like, I mean, I've barely touched this machine, and I still, I'm like, oh, I tidied up. I thought I did. It's like, I tidied up. I'm fine. I tidied up. It's like, no, I didn't. I did not tidy up at all. I just think I did. Okay, at a glance, it looked a lot nicer in here over this area. But then I sit down and realize, oh, I just put away the big shit. The little shit is still everywhere. But anyway, let's get that going. Yeah, I gotta go soon. Well, it's 4:33 now. Ugh. Yeah, I hate it when I forget to backstitch yeah. I hate it when I forget to do that, because then I gotta go all the way back. Okay, Okay, so I'm not going to try and put the handles on. I'm just going to get the boxing done, and I'll move on to the next one. Everything, but I'll just leave the tops for a separate step later, because I can do that. I need to be able to do that. I need to be able to do that, or I'm not going to be able to speed up enough, which is what okay. Yeah, I need to speed up. I need to go a little faster. I need to go a little faster and get things done a little faster, because, it's one of those things you go, I don't have an agenda. I don't care how long it's like, yeah, but if it takes too long, you start getting frustrated, especially when you got other stuff, people asking for stuff, other stuff that you need to do. But I'm going to do that. I am going to absolutely, I'm going to get these done. Then I'm going to cut some fabric. Maybe I'll come back on, maybe I'll prep everything and then come back on Friday or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's like, I need to do something fun. I need to do something fun with the sewing that doesn't feel like working this week. That's just what I need to do. And you got to be able to do that. There's plenty of times in life where you can't. Because it's true. Like, I mean, if my day job was sewing, then I don't get to say to the boss, I want to sew something else today. Well, thanks, Kaz. Yeah, absolutely, lurk. Lurk, don't lurk. I don't care. I'm just here to hear my own voice today. It's fine. But no, like there's so many places in life where you don't get to go, I want to do it differently, just to be different. I want to do blah. That's like, I want to just sew for the sake of sewing. Okay, what's going on? Oh, that's just a little off. See, this is why, and I don't know if this is me, or I don't know if it's just me, or there's a way around this. There you go. Every now and again, you're doing something, and suddenly your fabric decides to get fiddly for no particular reason. Probably just me being distracted, user error, who the fuck knows. But that's okay. This is why I always do these with a first row of stitching. Like I said, I've seen plenty of people that are like, okay, do this, now fold it all up, and then, just so that they're not over stitching it. But it's okay. Yeah, something shifted, and I'm not sure what. I probably just didn't. You could be cutting out your area for the. You can be cutting out the spot. You can be cutting out your notch for the. Oh my God! If I could talk, it'd be great. You could be cutting out your notch for where the boxing is going to go, and just maybe the one piece wasn't quite lined up with the other piece. Who the fuck knows? So now it's just a little bit fiddly. That's, yeah. But at least it's not twisted like those handles were. Okay. There you go. Of course, something else that sometimes happens, is that because I'm doing the Michael Jackson thing with the one glove, every now this glove is way more sticky. Every now and again, it's just the glove being extra sticky today. There we go. Gotta get up over that little hill. Anyway. One down. I should probably actually say goodbye now. That one's done. Yep. Me and my let's buy fabric that's gonna make your eyes go blurry. So that one's done. Okay, it's not done. I gotta finish everything else on it, but I can do the next step. That's those. I got two more handles to make too that I just kind of got lazy and forgot about. Anyway, I'm gonna. What the hell? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, this is what I mean. No contrast. No contrast. I grabbed the bag from the side just now. You guys aren't even see this. I grabbed the bag from the side, and it unfolded, and I'm like, what? I don't understand what I did. Okay, I'm gonna go finish these. See, I said goodbye. 30 minutes later, here I go. Okay, guys, I'm getting going. I'm gonna get going. Bye. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm gonna get back to work on these. And then every time I promise that I'm going to come back soon, it takes me 2 weeks. So I'm promising nothing, but I will try to come back as soon as it's reasonable for me to do so. And in the meantime, you guys have a great day, great weekend, great all the things. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye. Okay, what are you doing?